Hello everyone, I am Dr. Devashish Palkar and today I shall be talking about a very important person in the field of psychology and whose contributions can never be neglected. He is one of my favorites. I am talking about Erik Erikson. So let us discuss something about Erik Erikson. Before we discuss the famous stages by Erik Erikson, it is very important to look at his background, his life story, because therein lies the crux of these 8 stages. So Erik Erikson was born in Frankfurt, Germany. He was born to a mother who was Danish Jewish descent and his father was from a Danish descent. Now what happened was that before the birth, his father separated, his biological father separated from his mother, and his mother remarried. His mother remarried to a person who was Jewish. Now this was kept secret from Erik Erikson until he was adolescent. And the name that he was given because of this remarriage of his mother was Erik Homburger. Biologically, he was Erik Solomonsen, but he got a name Erik Homburger. Now, his parentage, because it was kept a secret till adolescence, he did not take it very well. And it resulted in him facing a lot of issues as an adolescent. Why? Because he was not completely Danish, neither he was Jewish, so he could not identify with the culture. He could not identify with the people around him, and it led to a serious identity crisis. And it was so much so that Erik Homburger changed his name to Erik Erikson. So Erikson was a name that he himself gave, and he started recognizing himself as Erik Erikson instead of Erik Homburger. Now, in this middle of this identity crisis, Erik Erikson took a year off and he traveled in the forests of Alps, and he became interested very much in arts. So he went to Vienna and he became an arts teacher. Now in Vienna, he started teaching drawing, painting, history and culture to young students. Also, he started observing how young children learned, grew up and matured. And he became very fascinated with this developmental process of children. Also, it is important to note that Erikson was in Vienna. And Vienna, as we know, was the home of psychoanalysis at that time. It was home to Sigmund Freud and Anna Freud. And there, at that period of time, Anna Freud was conducting her research in child psychoanalysis. And this is how Erik Erikson also became interested into psychoanalysis, and he was inspired by Freud family, and he became a psychoanalyst himself. But over a period of time, he developed his own theories and he became a neo-Freudian because he challenged some of the concepts of Freud. Mainly, he believed in the concept of identity, which Erikson believed was more important than the sexuality which Freud related to. So Erikson used the concepts of epigenesis in his study. Now, what is epigenesis? If you look at the Google definition of epigenesis, so epigenesis is the process by which plants, animals and fungi develop from a seed, spore or egg through a sequence of steps in which cells differentiate and finally the organs are formed. So basically this series of sequence of steps that any seed or a spore takes place is similar to the psychosocial stages of development which Erikson went on to give. So Erikson also said that development occurs in sequential, clearly defined stages, and that each stage must be satisfactorily resolved for the development to proceed smoothly. Erikson also studied how crucial historical, cultural, political circumstances can interact with the crisis of certain great persons at certain key moments in their time. And he specifically studied the lifestyles and the life histories and biographies of Gandhiji, Martin Luther King Jr., and he went on to write their biographies. So Erikson believed that personality results not just from the internal libidinal drives, but it is a complex interaction between the inner drives, the society, environment and the politics at that time. And based on this theory, Erikson gave 8 stages of life cycle which occur along a continuum. And according to Erikson, each stage has got a physical, cognitive, instinctual and sexual changes associated with it, and they combine to trigger an internal crisis. Now, crisis, Erikson defined, was a turning point or a crucial period of increased vulnerability and heightened potential. Alright, so what happens is, once you're faced with an internal crisis which is peculiar for a particular stage of your growth, either there can be resolution of that crisis or there can be unresolved. It can stay unresolved. So if the crisis is resolved, then according to Erikson, there is growth of the individual, and the individual attains a specific virtue. A virtue is basically an inherent strength which is different for each stage. And if this crisis remains unresolved, then it leads to regression and psychopathological changes which are specific for specific stages. So now let us study each stage. Before we move on to the stage, I know we all love to read about these stages, but in the exam sometimes we forget the sequence of the stages. So there is one very good memory strategy that I found on a website which used number and letter systems. So you are trying to numbers are being related with a particular word which is rhyming in nature, and that is how you associate your memory with it. So for example, if you want to remember stage 1, then remember 1 is a bun. Okay, so 1 and bun, they sound similar, and you have to imagine a bun which is rusted, and based on rust you can link trust. So stage 1 is trust versus mistrust. So it starts from birth to 18 months. Here the key question that a child asks himself or that develops in his mind is, can I trust the world? Now if the child can trust the world, then he attains the virtue of hope. And in this stage, child also learns to internalize pleasure and to externalize pain. The key determinants of this stage are how primary caregivers are attending to the child's needs. So in this stage, the child is totally dependent on his parents, and if his parents are providing for him, are taking care of him properly, responding to his needs, then the child will be able to trust the world, and there will be a positive outcome. So child develops attachment and learns to trust the world. But if the needs of the child are not satisfied, then the child develops a sense of mistrust, and there is a negative outcome. And there are 3 important psychopathologies which Erikson described, which are related to this stage. They can be remembered by the mnemonic SAD, which are schizophrenia, addiction and depression. Moving on to stage 2, it is autonomy versus shame and doubt. So this is from 18 months to 3 years, and the key question that challenges a kid is it okay to be me? If the child is able to successfully pass through this stage, then he attains the virtue of will. Now the key event during this stage is that of toilet training. 18 months to 3 years, this is particularly the time when the child is being trained by his caregivers for going to toilet. Now the child is learning to practice holding on and letting go. Child is also learning to do things autonomously. For example, some children, they make choices regarding the food that they want to eat, regarding the clothes they want to wear. So if the child is allowed to autonomously decide for himself, he is encouraged by the parents, then it leads to successful completion of this stage and the child attains the virtue of will. However, if the parents, they are overprotective, or they ridicule the child, or they are very hostile, then it leads to children feeling shameful and inadequate, and it can lead to self-doubt. Erikson described psychopathologies related to this stage like paranoia, obsession compulsions and impulsivity. Coming to stage 3 is initiative versus guilt. To remember this, we can just imagine 3 is a tree, and you can imagine that a tree is wrapped in a quilt. Alright, quilt is something like a blanket. So from quilt, you can remember the word guilt. So stage 3 is initiative versus guilt. Also to remember stage 2, you can just imagine, 2 is a shoe. It's rhyming with shoe. And you can imagine that there is a automobile which is shaped like a shoe. And there is a person called Shane who is driving this automobile. And because he is driving such a ridiculous looking vehicle, he is obviously feeling very shameful. So stage 2 is autonomy versus shame. So moving to stage 3, it is initiative versus guilt. Imagine that 3 is a tree and there is a tree which is wrapped with a quilt. So stage 3 is initiative versus guilt. It takes place between 3 to 6 years. The key question that a child is tormented with is it okay for me to do, move and act? That is it okay for me to take any initiative? If the child successfully passes through this stage, then he attains the virtue of purpose. Now child starts to explore his independence, uses imagination, is very inquisitive and asks questions, initiates communication, goes to play school and even interacts with his peers. Now parents can reinforce and encourage the child, which will lead to child achieving a virtue of purpose. But if parents are overcritical or prevent play or discourage the child's questions, then the child will feel guilty about himself. And the psychopathologies related to this stage are conversion disorder, phobia and psychosomatic disorder and inhibition. So this is stage 3. Now coming to stage 4. Stage 4 is industry versus inferiority. And to remember stage 4, remember 4 is a dinosaur, and dinosaur is standing on dust or is covered with dust. So he feels inferior about himself. Imagine a dinosaur who is covered with dust. He feels very inferior about himself. So stage 4 is a dinosaur. Remember, industry versus inferiority. So this takes place between ages 6 to 13 years. And the key question that a child asks himself is, can I make it in the world of people and things? If the child passes this stage successfully, then he attains the virtue of competence. The important event during this stage are, the child goes to school. He learns to make use of tools. He starts using pencils, crayons, a pen. He acquires new skills. He identifies himself in various occupational roles. He identifies with his teacher. He relates with his peers. So according to Erikson, this is socially one of the most decisive stages. Because according to Erikson, industry involves doing things beside and with others, a sense of division of labor, and taking pride in task completion. So if the child passes through this stage successfully, he feels himself to be very competent, and that is why he achieves the virtue of competence. However, if there are problems in successful completion of this stage, then it can lead to psychopathology, but it is less well defined in this stage. It can lead to creative inhibition and inertia, and the child may start feeling depressed and inferior about himself. Moving on to stage 5, it is identity versus role confusion. To remember stage 5, so 5 rhymes with the word dive. So remember 5 is dive, and just imagine that someone is diving on your car, which is why there is a dent in your car. So this dent will remind you of identity versus role confusion. Alright, so when the person dives on the car, there is a dent on the car, and because the person suffers from head injury, he is confused. So you can remember like that. So this is identity versus role confusion. So it occurs between ages 13 to 11 years. The key question that the child asks himself is, who am I? Now in this stage, the adolescents are primarily concerned with how they appear in the eyes of others versus how they feel they are internally. So there is this conflict. Now, how do I appear to the world and how I am? This conflict leads to identity crisis. But adolescents try to integrate the skills that they acquired earlier in their life, and they now start to think about the future, about their occupation and what they will do with these skills in the future. Now according to Erikson, identity is derived from the early experiences with one's family, as well as knowing how different one is, which is acquired through experiences with culture, peers, as well as contribution from genetics. So Erikson placed a lot of emphasis on the environment as well, rather than just placing the emphasis on the earlier development. The child continues to learn as he passes successfully from stages 1 to 3, 1, 2 to 2 and 2 to 3 onwards and upwards. And with the interaction with peers and the culture, the child or the adolescent attains his identity. Now success in this stage leads one to attain the virtue of fidelity. Now fidelity is basically faithfulness, which is not only restricted to the definition of self, but also an ideology that provides a version of self within the world. If there are psychopathologies in this stage because of incompletion or failure to complete this stage, then it can lead to delinquent behavior, wherein adolescents can just run away from their homes, join some gangs, join some cults. Also, borderline psychotic episodes can occur in this stage. Also, this stage is the time when problems in gender identity and sexual role may also become manifest. Moving on to stage 6. Stage 6 is intimacy versus isolation. To remember this stage, just remember 6 rhymes with sticks. So 6 is sticks, and you just imagine there are 2 sticks kissing each other intimately. So you can remember this as intimacy versus isolation. So this occurs between stages 21 to 40 years. When describing this stage, Erikson quoted Freud about the purpose of life. And Freud had famously said that the purpose of life is Leben und Arbeiten, which means to love and to work. So in this stage, a person is trying to find a partner for himself, with whom he can stay faithful for the rest of the life. And successfully finding a partner makes us feel intimate. And this is a stage wherein marriages happen, wherein a person decides to find a soulmate and to stick with it for the lifetime. And if the person successfully completes this stage, then he attains the virtue of love. And the psychopathology related to this stage is schizoid personality disorder. Basically, these are the persons who find hard to relate with others, to find a bond, a life partner, a soulmate. Coming to stage 7, stage 7 is generativity versus stagnation. So remember, 7, it rhymes with heaven. So imagine that there is heaven which is being driven by a stag. Alright, so just imagine that there is stag who is running the heavens generator. Alright, so 7 is heaven and there is a stag who is running the heavens generator. So we'll remember this as generativity versus stagnation. It occurs between the ages 40 to 60 years. Now, having found a life partner and an occupation, the individual now focuses on the question, how can I contribute to the world and how can I guide the future generations? The individual also becomes a contributing, responsible member of the society. And if the person is able to successfully pass through this stage, then he attains the virtue of care. He now starts thinking about future generations and taking the responsibility of the society and becoming a successful member of the society. But if there are failures in successful completion of this stage, failure of generativity, it can lead to profound personal stagnation, and person may try to escape it by way of indulging in alcohol, substance use disorders. Also, the midlife crisis and rates of major depressive disorders are very high, and they are related particularly to this stage of generativity versus stagnation. Coming to the last stage, stage 8, which is integrity versus despair. So to remember this stage, remember that 8, it rhymes with plate. So imagine there is a plate which has pear and some grits on it. So it is integrity versus despair. So the pear will remind you of despair. So it is from age 60 to death. Now here the person reflects upon his life, his successes, his failures, opportunities, his turning points, and he is either filled with a sense of satisfaction, which leads to a virtue of wisdom, or else he feels a sense of despair and frustration for his life. Now if he feels frustrated, if he feels desperate, if he feels a sense of unachievement and a sense of failure, then there might be psychopathology like anxiety disorders, and also the rates of completed suicides are very high in this stage. So this completes the stages. Just we'll take a quick recap from stages 1 to stages 8. So stage 1 is trust versus mistrust. From birth to 18 months, the virtue related to it is hope. Stage 2 is autonomy versus shame and doubt, and it is from 18 months to 3 years. The virtue associated with this stage is will. Stage 3 is initiative versus guilt, from 3 to 6 years. Here the virtue associated with it is purpose. Stage 4 is industry versus inferiority. It is from ages 6 to 13 years, and the virtue associated with it is competence. Stage 5 is identity versus role confusion. It is from age 13 to 21 years, that is the adolescent years, and the virtue associated with this stage is fidelity. Stage 6 is intimacy versus isolation. It is from 21 to 40 years, and the virtue associated with this stage is love. Stage 7 is generativity versus stagnation. It is from age 40 to 60 years, and the virtue associated with this stage is care. Stage 8 is integrity versus despair. It is from age 60 to death, and the virtue associated with this stage is wisdom. Finally, apart from the psychosocial stages that Erikson gave, he was a prolific writer, and he also wrote few great novels, mainly involving his theories of psychopathology, his theories of psychosocial development, and the way culture, society impacted the personality of great people. So he wrote a book on Gandhiji titled Gandhi's Truth. He also wrote a book on Martin Luther King titled Young Man Luther. So this is about Erikson that we must know. You can write this in your answer for examination, and you can answer this in Viva as well. I hope I did some justice to it. If you like this, then please subscribe to my channel, and please also share this video with someone. It will be helpful to them. Thank you very much. This is Dr. Devashish signing off.